Police are hoping a $1 million reward will finally help solve the cold case murder of a young American man who was found dead at the bottom of a Sydney cliff 30 years ago. Almost 30 years ago to the day, Scott Johnson's life abruptly and violently came to an end. The 27-year-old's body was discovered at the base of a cliff near Manly's North Head in December 1988. It was originally found the American had committed suicide, but his family would not accept that and continued to push for answers. A third inquest later found Scott Johnson was in fact murdered as a result of a gay hate crime.
You may not be resting comfortably this week, but you have a voice. We're with you now. We're going to find out what happened. We may finally get answers and justice for you.
Now, the family of Scott Johnson hope a new $1 million reward will help them find the truth about his death and bring his killer to justice. And Scott Johnson's brother Steve joins us this morning, along with Detective Chief Inspector Peter Yeomans from New South Wales Police. Good morning to you. Now, Steve, you've been a tireless campaigner for your brother, and it has been a hard road for you. You did a double take when you saw his picture here. It hits hard for you today, 30 years ago.
Really does. It's been quite a long journey since coming here on pretty much this day 30 years ago after his body was found, and no one had any idea what happened. The police just said this was suicide, and so I went home with no answers.
And it has been a real shift, I suppose, in the way that the police have treated this case. From your perspective, Peter, we know there have been 3 coronial inquests into this. What are you hoping that this new reward will achieve? Obviously, people who perhaps thought something or saw something might come forward.
We're hoping that the reward, the $1 million reward, will entice people to come forward. Look, this is an extremely serious case, obviously serious crime, even though it's 30 years that it's happened. Police are moving forward with the investigation. We're hopeful that someone has seen something, they know something, and that they will come forward and solve this case for Steve, his family, and bring justice and some sort of justice for Steve and his family.
Because there aren't many $1 million rewards in place in terms of enticing someone with information. That is so important. But it really does mark a shift, I suppose, in the police treatment of this case too.
Oh, look, the police always treated this a serious case. It wasn't until last year that the coronial inquest actually said that there was foul play in relation to this case. But we are now moving forward in relation to a murder investigation. We treat all these cases seriously, but we are seeking for the public to come forward with information. Someone knows something in relation to what happened on that fateful day.
And Steve, how hopeful are you at this point? It was an important day for you yesterday.
Yesterday was a big day. To hear the Commissioner say that mistakes had been made, not only in Scott's case, but there were dozens of other gay men in the 80s who probably didn't get the protection and the attention that they deserved after they died. And I'm very much hoping, especially with this detective in charge, that we make progress in Scott's case. I think it'll make a big difference to all the other families and the prospects for those victims getting investigated as well.
Well, you are in good hands, that is for sure. So I guess your message to anyone out there who may have seen something, who may have heard something, what would you say to them this morning?
We've only gotten as far as we are today because people have been brave enough to come forward. It's safe to come forward. These crimes were usually committed and then the attackers would brag about them. So we suspect that there are dozens of people who know what happened to Scott, and we would very much encourage them to come forward.
Well, so important for your family, and we congratulate you on your never-ending and ceaseless efforts to try to seek justice for your brother, and thank you both for coming in and wish you all the best with the investigation.
Thanks, Steve.
Thank you so
Thank you very much.
Brenton.
Thank you.